Okay, awesome. We're live. What is up, everybody? I'm going to be talking and walking you through how to ace a UX design interview and land the job of your dreams. So what is up, everybody? My name is Aaron Houghton, and this is the UX Disruption Radio. This is the first time you're tuning into it. And today, I want to share with you the 7 crucial tips for succeeding in an interview for UX design. This is a really important topic, okay? So because there's so many people who don't know what they're doing when it comes to interviews, they go into these things not knowing what they should do, what they should say, which makes you look super, super bad and incredibly inexperienced. So in this episode, we're going to cover everything from the clothes that you should wear to the best questions that will make sure that the interviewer knows just how good of a fit you would be to their company. All right, so we're going to kick this off with number 1. Number 1 on my list is do your research on the company. Dear God, I can't even tell you how many people I've heard of, seen, experience that don't do their research. Now, I understand when you're initially applying to jobs and initially applying to positions that, you send out 100 applications, you send your resume to 100 different places, and then you get that, you end up getting your, the actual interview, okay? And then they hop on the Zoom call, they hop on the phone call. One of the very, very first questions anybody asks, is, why are you interested in our company? Why do you want to work here? That's one of the very, very first questions that you're going to get asked. You always get asked. And if you don't have an actual reason, because if you say oh, I just want money, I just want a job, no one's going to hire you off of that. It might be true, but the company wants to know that you are somebody that they can rely on and have confidence in you that you're going to do your job. Because if you are somebody who just wants to have that position, just wants to have that job, but has no actual desire and drive to actually perform in it, it really, really shows if you when you say that you just want the money for it. So research the flipping position, research the job, research the position. Go onto their website, read their whole website, reread the job description, go and snoop around, check on Glassdoor, check for reviews, check for information about that specific company. Because the more information that you can provide and the more feedback you can give to the actual interviewer, that's literally going to make you stand out, because there's going to be 5 out of 10 of those people who go to the interview will have no idea what the company actually does, what their actual purpose is. So you want to research these. You want to FBI, NSA, research the hell out of these companies, so that when you do get that question of why do you want to work here, why are you interested about this place, you can 100% without a doubt be able to answer that question. So research, know what the product is, know about their company culture, know about them, know what kind of personality everybody has at this place, okay? All right, so moving on to number 2. The second thing is you want to prepare your portfolio of your past work and be ready to show it off. Now, this should be a given that you should have a portfolio ready to showcase. But what a lot of people don't do and realize that they need to do is they need to be prepared to show it. You need to be prepared to showcase it and show people that your process for design, your UX process, how you got to that actual solution to the problem. Because yet again, one of the very first things that they're going to do in the interview is they're going to want to see your portfolio. They're going to want you to walk through how you got things, like how you came up with that design, how you decided to place that button there. What, like, how many people did you research? How many people did you talk to? They're going to want to know. So when you do your portfolio, you're going to look through it, you read through it, you know exactly what you did. You want to be able to communicate your process, how you got what, like the actual like end product solution. You need to be able to walk them through, and you need to be able to explain yourself. You need to be able to explain every single part of it. Why did you have that button red instead of like blue or instead of green? Why is it there? And why do you have rounded corners instead of straight corners? You need to be able to defend your solutions you came up with. You got to be able to defend that. You have to have an answer for every question and every decision you made. So preparing your portfolio and knowing exactly what you did and knowing your process and knowing exactly how you went through it, super, like, crazy important. Now, number 3 on this list, I feel like everybody knows this, but you don't know why. You don't know the reasoning behind it. Number 3 is to dress professionally. Given, obviously, and not too formal. You don't want to be like the movie, was it Step Brothers, and show up there in a tuxedo, and like the other dude's wearing like basketball shorts. Like, that would be way too overdressed. Like, so you need to know these things. But the reason behind dressing professionally, and the reason like you want to take so much thought into it, is psychologically, when like this is human nature right now. The very first thing anybody notices, the very first thing anybody pays attention to when you initially see someone, if you're walking through a store, you're walking through a grocery store, you're walking through anywhere, you're walking down the street, the first thing people notice is the clothes you are wearing. Because you realize that the clothes that are currently on your body, they're covering like 95% of you. So the first thing somebody's going to see, an interviewer, somebody that works at that company, the first thing they're going to notice is how you are dressed. That is the very, very first thing that people notice, and it's the first like bias that people will judge you on. You are initially judged on how you are dressed. Everywhere you go, no matter, it doesn't even, like, besides like interviewing purposes, this is a universal thing, 100% across the board. You are initially judged on how you are dressed. So what this should tell you when you are actually going into an interview is you should be dressed 10% better than the person that's interviewing you. This is the same thing for business too. If you are going to go have a meeting with somebody, you should be dressed 10% better than everybody else in the room. Why? Why does that matter? The more because you, like, people are judged off of how they are dressed initially. If you are 10% better than everybody else in that room, psychologically, you are placed at a higher status right out, like the very, very first, like the first, like, shoot, what the heck would be? The first, whatever, thing that you are judged on. The very first judgment somebody has is how you're dressed. Now, if you're 10% better dressed than everybody else in that room, the interviewer, you are now placed at a higher status than other people without being like over the top dressed. Like I said, like wearing a tuxedo, that would be over the top. But 10% better, that places you in a super, super golden zone where you're higher status, you have more authority, you are just positioned as a professional, you're positioned as an expert, you're positioned as the authority of where you are. Okay, so That was number 3. Dress professionally, not too formally. Super important. Now, number 4, you should arrive on time. Obviously. Okay. So number 4, arrive on time with a positive attitude and a smile on your face. The next thing, psychologically, people notice when you first walk in the room, after the clothes you're wearing and like how you present yourself, the clothes you're wearing, the next thing is going to be your face. They're going to see you present yourself with a smile. A smile, like a smile immediately puts people in a happier mood, because you could be going to this interview and they could be like right after lunch, they're tired, they want to go home. Having a smile on your face will cause them to have a smile on their face, which causes you to build a rapport with them. It makes you seem like a positive person. You are more personable. People want to be around you. So coming in with a smile on your face, crucial. Here's a bonus pro tip also. Even with COVID happening and whatnot, you still want to know this, even though it's like gone now or whatever. Everybody's heard that the very first thing somebody notices or judges you on is like, or when you go into an interview, the first thing an interview notices, an interviewer decides who they're going to hire within like the first 30 seconds of the interview. And that's you walking in and just being in front of them and presenting yourself. They're going to know immediately who they want to hire. So coming in well dressed and 10% better dressed than everybody else, that places you first impressions. Great. You're off to a good start. You have a smile on your face. You walk in confidently. Awesome. Bonus points for both of those. Now you're good. You're already halfway there. And then the next thing is a handshake. Now, a handshake's whatever. You've been shaking hands since you were a flipping toddler. But having a firm handshake, not too tight, but a firm handshake, going in solid handshake. Everybody knows what a solid handshake is. Like an authoritative handshake. But by doing that, by shaking somebody's hand, it builds rapport. It builds I don't remember the specific statistic, but a quick, firm handshake is the same amount of rapport as is spending 4 hours with somebody. So could you imagine sitting in a room and just having a conversation with somebody for 4 hours straight? How much you would know about them, how comfortable you would be around that person, the rapport that would be built within that time. You could there's been business deals that have been closed for less than that. So 4 hours, that much rapport is built by one single good handshake. So you throw in firm handshake, dressed well, smile on your face, you're positive, dude. You're peak status right now. Okay. So this takes us on to number 5. Number 5, you want to stay calm. You want to stay confident through the entire interview, even if it's not going good. You don't want to let your nerves show, even if it's not going good. So you got to remember that just because things are not going well, just the fact that you are currently at that interview, you're currently having that job interview, that's already a great sign. So just think about it for a second. If 100 people apply to a job, especially a job in design, UX design, UI design, product design, whatever, there's hundreds of people that apply all the time. There are tons and tons of applications. Since it's a large majority is remote, people can apply from anywhere the heck they want. So let's say, for instance, 100 people applied, 100 people sent in their resumes, and they were all checked. All right. you getting a job interview from that application, like 90% of those people weren't even like, didn't even get past the initial screening, because no actual company is going to go and interview 100 people. They'll look through 100 people's applications, but they're not going to interview 100 people. They filter them down to see who's qualified. So the fact that you are in that interview already means that you made it through a bunch of vetting process. You're already like the top people, and they're looking for a good fit for that position, a good fit for that job. So the fact that you actually got in there, you actually got into the interview, you're already ahead of the crowd. And you need to remember that. You can't stroll in here incredibly unconfident and like get your nerves all crazy if you've already made it to the interview. You're already like almost there, you guys. So stay calm, stay confident. Don't let your nerves beat you up. Yeah. So that was number 5. You want to stay calm. You want to stay confident. You know that you already made it past where so many other people fell short. So you're already good. They're already interested in you. So okay, that brings us to number 6. Number 6, be confident in what you know about the job, as well as being confident that you can accomplish the position that you're there for. So this is something that I talk about. So like this is my golden zone of conversation, is having confidence in that interview. Now this is different than number 5, where I was talking about staying confident through the interview and staying calm and not getting your nerves all crazy. So being confident in what you can do. Now think of it this way. Why do like hiring managers, recruiters, why do like HR, whatever, why do they interview people? What are they looking for? On top of that, why is there a statistic out there that going in for a job interview, they decide within like the first 30 seconds or 60 seconds, or whatever the specific number is, why do they decide who they're going to hire within that time? On top of that, they've seen your resume, they know what your past work is, they've seen your portfolio, they know what you can do. They're already aware that you are qualified for the job. But what sets one person apart from the other person? What is that difference? That difference is confidence. Confidence, 100,000% confidence. If you want a job, if you want to get that, you want to ace that interview and get that job and get that position, the number one thing is confidence. That's all you got to remember. Out of everything there is, if you could remember this one thing, you'll ace the interview, you'll get it, you'll get the job, you'll get any job you apply for. If you can remember this one thing, confidence. Confidence. Because when somebody is interviewing, when they're looking to hire somebody and they're looking to hire a new designer, what do they want? They want to have confidence that you can accomplish the tasks at hand. They want to know that if they hire you and they put their own neck on the line to get you to have this position, they want to have confidence, and the hiring manager wants to have confidence that you will actually perform the job at maximum capacity, at like peak performance. if you go into an interview and you're just straight up unconfident, okay? You go in there, you have a timid voice. When they ask you a question, you don't really like know how to answer it. What is that saying? If I give you a big old task, I tell you to go and do all these things to like, and you have this deadline and there's a bunch of responsibility. I need you to go and interview these people, design this thing, whatnot. I need to know that you can accomplish the task that you are given. That is the difference between like a senior designer and a junior designer. Now, there could be a junior designer that has like these beautiful, beautiful UI. They have fantastic UX. Everything they do has a reason. All of their designs have a specific reason that they did them. But like a senior designer could be like the exact same quality of work as a junior designer, right? Now, what is actually the difference between the two? That senior designer is more confident in their abilities and their capabilities of performing those tasks and getting the job done. They're more confident in what they could do. A lot of junior designers aren't confident that they can actually accomplish what they're doing. So, if you roll up into the interview and you listen to those all of the stuff I mentioned before about building the rapport, being confident, you're dressing well, like if you go in there with like you are about to dominate this interview, you are just confident, like it doesn't even matter if you're not even qualified for this job. You believe that you can do it. You know that you can do it. You're confident that you can do it. Dude, you are going to ace the interview and you're going to get that job. Even if somebody be like in front of you, one of the other people are more qualified than you. Just by you being more confident in that interview will land you that job. I'll tell you what, straight out of my design boot camp, as a junior designer, I applied for senior positions. I applied for senior design positions. Like I went to LinkedIn, I typed in UX design, product design, and then like filtered them out and found the senior positions, the lead positions, and applied for them. You know what? I had so many interviews. And I got the jobs. Like I got the position, so many positions that I started to like filter and sift which one was going to pay most. Like, oh, there's a senior design position at this company, but they're only paying like $60 an hour. And there's a senior design position at this company, and they're paying $95 an hour. Now, I'm going to choose like the higher one, obviously. But because I was getting those interviews and because I was actually landing the jobs, I had the freedom to choose which place I wanted to go and work at. Now, how the hell can a brand new junior designer fresh out of boot camp go and land a senior position at a company, a senior product design position at companies? Is because I went in there, I followed these exact steps. I knew everything about that company because I did hella research about it. My portfolio was super, super sexy, and I could explain everything that was in there. I was dressed like the flipping boss. I came in there super, super confident. I understand psychology enough to know exactly what triggers will trigger rapport with the hiring manager, with the design team. I knew that I could smile, I could shake hands, I could be positive, I could come in there confident, I could stay calm. And whenever they asked questions, I was confident. I was confident as hell. I beat out people that were significantly more skilled than me, had way, way, way more experience, but they came in there with zero confidence, probably slumped shoulders, a little slack jaw, not confident in what they're doing. Like the hiring manager would ask them a question. Maybe they couldn't spitfire an answer with 100% clarity and 100% confidence. And that's enough to make them not want to hire you. So having that confidence, having that absolute 100% like clarity of who you are, what you can do, everything about you, and being able to showcase that is the deciding factor to getting that position, getting that job. You ace these things, it's game over. You get hired literally flipping anywhere. Okay, so that was number 6. Bit long-winded and whatever, but important and super, super important. Now, number 7. You want to make sure that any questions you have for the interviewer are answered before you leave. By asking questions in your interview, it shows that you have interest in that company. If you go in there, if you sit down at an interview and you are talking and whatnot, you're answering questions, and at the end of that interview, you have no questions for them, like unless like it was like a genuine like back and forth conversation the entire time to the point where you asked your questions through the entire process. Unless that is the situation you're in, you need to ask questions at the end. And I'm talking about like, what is the day-to-day for somebody at this job? What does the day-to-day look like for them? One of my favorite questions that I like to ask right at the very beginning of an interview, very, very first question I ask, like before we get started, like, hey, before we get started, do you have any questions? My question is, if the absolute perfect candidate came walking through those doors, they're just like, they fit perfectly to all criterias. They hit every single check mark. Fantastic. Perfect. Your perfect dream candidate. What would they look like? Asking questions in an interview, like the hiring manager is going to respond. They're going to, even if they don't have a answer like already pre-generated in their mind, they're going to respond and give you an answer for that. Every single time I've ever asked this question, they're always like, "Oh, they could take the initiative and like fulfill all of the needs of this position. They can." What was another one? Oh, I like this one. They're willing to push back on their design decisions. So if you have a design decision, and somebody else says, no, that's stupid, and they don't like it or whatever, they want somebody who is willing and confident enough to push back and like apply pressure to that decision and stand behind all their decisions they make. That was one of like the big things that people wanted. And by asking this question, what is the dream candidate for this position? Now think about it. If they tell you what the dream person is right from the beginning, all you got to do is you just got to make it come true, baby. You just got to do exactly what they say. If they say, "Oh, we want somebody that's willing to push back on and stand behind the design decisions," now in your interview, you need to prove that you are willing to push back and apply pressure and stand behind your decisions. If you ask this question and they answer it, you have a roadmap of exactly who you need to be to get hired at the position. You can't fail, because you could be their perfect hire. That's it, you guys. That is 7 tips I have to landing the position of your dreams, to acing that interview, to standing out and beating all of your competition. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this episode, you like this, maybe you watched it live, you watched me banter about this live, or you're listening to the podcast on Spotify or Anchor or Apple Podcasts, wherever you find it, and you enjoyed this, you got some value from it, you like me, please, I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it if you hit that like, you shared this, you showed it to somebody who needs it. There's somebody that's in similar situations like this and could use this, show it to them, share it with them. And yeah, guys, my name is Aaron Houghton, and you are listening to the UX Disruption Radio. Take care.